All right. Well, hey, welcome to number 23. Let's show you a little bit what we're working on today. And so, as you can see here, this is a shape. It's basically a block that we've cut a radius on each corner, cut out a chunk of each corner, and how we're going to go about doing that. And so today, I have squared up piece of paper. I have put a border. I've put a nameplate on it. Just getting ready to put a Lucky L on it. And so what I really want to do, let me see if I can get this. There we go. So now you can see the object and you can see my overhead camera. A couple things. You're going to need a compass today. You're going to need a pencil. You're going to need your trusty T-square. You're going to need your trusty triangle. You're going to need tape. You're going to need an eraser. And as always, you're going to need access to a copy of the drawing itself. So let's, without any further ado, let's get started. The one thing, you know what else I forgot to tell you? You're going to need a scale or a ruler. So here's my, let me get that out. All right, so I got my border, I got my nameplate, I got my Lucky L. I'm going to come in here, and again, I'm going to come over a ½ inch from my left border. I'm going to come up a ½ inch from my nameplate and make a couple marks. And those two marks are going to be what we're going to use for our Lucky L. And again, Lucky L should be a nice light line that you're going to use to build the drawing. I'm going to go a little darker so you can see it on camera. It doesn't work so well if you can't see it. So I'm going to put it a little darker than I should, just so it shows up on camera. But usually I put that just super light because we're going to end up erasing a whole bunch of it, okay? So you can see this object is kind of sitting on the paper, kind of tipped up and tilted back. When we draw this, we're going to slide it down nice and flat onto the piece of paper. So the first thing we know is I'm going to draw a box that is 4 inches long. So I measure out 4 inches and then we're going to go up, and this thing goes up roughly 2.5. So then I'm going to go measure up my 2.5. And I got this problem with my computer monitor sitting so close. Let me slide that back a little bit, that I can't get my ruler all the way to 0. So I have to start at 2 inches. So I'm going to go 2.5 up. That's 1, 2.5. So I went up 2.5. And again, I just need a bigger table, or I need to get rid of the computer or lift it up somehow so it's out of my way. And so I have the first box. And now we're ready to actually start cutting some of these radiuses out. So what I'm going to do is the radius on this first corner says it's 1 3/8. So the way I set my compass, there's a scale on here. Never use those. Those are absolutely horrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen up my compass a little bit. Okay, and then I can adjust it because it's looser. And I'm going to set this to 1 3/8. So I'm going to adjust that back just a little bit. 1 3/8. Now I will tell you, the one thing I hate about this compass is this pencil is too short, so I can't slide it down. These should theoretically be parallel or even across the end, and they're not because my pencil's a little short. But hey, it's what I got to work with today, so I'm going to use it. 1 3/8 radius. So I'm going to set the corner here. I'm going to draw this radius across. Okay. And so now I have cut that corner. Now, typically what I always tell kids is draw the front view first, then make it 3D. And that's really good advice. But I have my compass set to 1 3/8. So watch how I make this corner 3D. I'm going to go down to this bottom corner here, and I'm going to draw a nice line that goes back. I'm going to go up to my corner here, draw a line that goes back, and I'm going to go to this corner here and draw a line that goes back. Now, to make this 3D, I'm going to make the whole side 3D. So it goes back 1.5, it says. So I'm going to go back 1.5, and I'm going to put a mark. And then I'm going to come up to this corner and go back 1.5 and put a mark. And this is really the wildest thing. Notice when I drew this arch, I was on that corner. So if I come back to my mark that's 1.5 back, okay, and draw another radius, I know you're thinking that doesn't look like much. Watch this. This line is going to come up right here and stop, okay? And then I'm going to take each one of my radiuses, and the end of it, I'm going to connect that there. And when this hits the other radius, that's the back corner of that. And now watch, from this corner here, I can just go straight across. Okay. Now, again, I told you I've made things a little darker than I should have, because now I got to do some erasing, because this radius was a little long. So I'm going to erase it where it needs to go. And every time I erase, I can only imagine the whole camera is moving around because the camera is attached to the table. That's the price you pay for having remote learning, right? It's just part of one of the deals. I guess I could bolt the camera to the wall in my house, and then when I erase it on the table, it wouldn't shake, but I think my wife would be upset. All right, so now I'm gonna erase that. I'm gonna cut this corner out. Okay, those are my two lines that were my original corner. And voila, how cool is that? So I'm gonna go back over and darken things up a little darker. Okay, I tried to make my radiuses pretty dark the first time so I didn't have to go back and reset and draw those darker. And here's the other skill is how do I darken these all up and see my drawing without the top of my head being in the camera's view. That's just another one of those wild things that we hope we got. All right, so now I have my shape darkened up pretty good. I got a couple more lines I guess could use a little more attention, huh? One here and one here. All right. So I have my object drawn. We're now going to add some dimensions. And again, I can't say it enough. Whenever you go to put dimensions on, we're still going to use our drafting tools. I still have kids that are turning in drafts that they get to this point, they make it first, and then they just start freehanding measurements. And that's craziness. So I'm going to start over here on this side view, or on this side over here. And again, I'm going to put my extension lines, which is a 1/4 inch line that extends away from the object. And then I'm going to go out about a 1/4 inch and put my dimension line in, which is going to come up. It's going to stop. It's going to start again. I'm going to put an arrowhead at each end. Okay, we color those black so they're easy to see. Fill them in all the way. And this is 2.5 inches. So 2 little marks next to each other there. So that says 2.5. Then I'm going to come in here. And again, we're going to do the same thing across the bottom here. I'm going to tell you that from there to here, and then I'm going to put a line across. And that's 4 inches. And again, if you don't put the extension line in, this line and this line, if you don't put those in, I take a point off. Okay? And so what you're going to find is, wow, you can lose a lot of points real easy. Hey, let's come up here and we're just going to go diagonally. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go here. And I'm going to flip my triangle over and do that diagonal dimension. Okay, and that's 1.5. And again, don't forget those arrowheads. Those will lose points too if you don't put them on. Nobody wants to be without those points. And now we need to kind of tell you the radius of this whole thing. So I'm going to do it kind of the way they did. I'm going to come back here and I'm not going to touch the object. I'm going to come a 1/4 inch away and I'm going to draw a line out. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to stay a 1/4 inch away and draw a line up like they have done here. And then, watch this. This is kind of cool. I can come diagonally and I'm going to go from my radius out past that corner. I'm going to keep going. And then up there, I'm going to put a little line that goes across. And then I can put the measurement right out here. 1 3/8 inch R for radius. And then don't forget your arrowheads. I like to put a little arrowhead here. And the book does this a little differently. I like to have an arrowhead here so people realize I'm talking about from here to that corner is 1 1.25 radius. Okay. All right. Oh, look what I did. I forgot to cut this corner out. I wonder if it's too late. It is not. So I'm going to take my compass. I'm going to come back. We're going to set it at 1 inch. And again, this pencil, see, I'm going to have the compass leaned way over because my pencil's really short. But watch this. I'm going to come in here. Okay. And then I'm going to measure in here. Now, I don't think you're going to see any of that because watch this. If I come back 1 inch and I draw this line back to there. It should hit where my arch started, and it did. Okay. And then I go to this other corner and I go back 1.5. Ooh, look, it hits right behind my object. So now all I need to do is erase this corner and see how I drew that all in there and now I cut it back out. Let me get this out of here. It'll make more sense. You can see it after that's been taken out. And I can still leave my 2 inches there because my extension line is extending from the object, telling everybody where we measured, right? So I have my 1-inch radius over there. This line goes behind it. Now, in the drawing, it looks a little different, not much, but a little different. And that could be because they maybe use a different angle. If I had a different triangle that was like a 30, 60, 90, it would still be the same. It would just give us a slightly different look. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put a little line in this corner. And I'm going to put a little line in this corner, just like I did the last one. Okay. And so now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to tell everybody that from the corner, I can go from here to there. Now, if I had a bigger space, I could write right in that space 1-inch radius and put an arrowhead on each end. Or I can extend this out farther. Or watch this. I'm going to do this a little different. I'm going to bring this down here. What if I came down there and then put a little straight line here and put 1-inch radius. And then again, I'm going to give you an arrowhead on this end. So you know I'm talking about from there to there. And that communicates the exact same thing, that I got a 1-inch radius. And you can do this kind of different ways. You can put it in the line. You could have brought it straight up here and put a measurement up. They did a little differently in the book because they had more space. But that's kind of what we're looking for, is we want our picture to look similar to that picture. Okay. And I think that if you look at it, I think ours looks pretty close. I changed the dimensions a little bit, but the dimensions are in the correct place, and they're all there, and I think they look pretty good. So you can't complain about the quality of that. I think it looks pretty decent. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you figured out how to draft number 23. Thanks much.